The Battle for Hougoumont, the 18th of June, 1815. On the evening of the 17th of June, the day before the battle, Hougoumont was occupied by 4 light companies, about 400 men drawn from the British Guards battalions that were in position on the Allied ridge to the north. On the morning of the battle, understanding the importance of holding Hougoumont, Wellington ordered a battalion of Nassau troops and several hundred Hanoverian sharpshooters to reinforce the garrison. He put Lieutenant Colonel MacDonell of the Coldstream Guards in overall command. At about 11:30, the French attack on Hougoumont began. The 2nd Corps of General Reille were given this task, and the first troops to advance were commanded by Prince Jérôme, Napoleon's brother. The British artillery opened fire from the ridge on the advancing French troops, and their fire was returned by the French artillery. The French advanced a heavy screen of light infantry that attacked into the wood, supported by columns. The French skirmishers slowly pushed the Allies back towards the farm and succeeded in capturing the wood. Many of the Nassau and Hanoverian troops returned to the ridge. The British counterattacked and recaptured the wood, but faced by the French columns, they were forced to withdraw back to their original positions. About 12:30, the forward French troops were reinforced and reoccupied the wood. From the cover of the trees, groups of French soldiers tried to scale the garden walls, but were shot down by the defenders. It was now about 1 o'clock. As further reinforcements were sent from the British Guards on the ridge, a small party of French soldiers broke in through the northern gates and entered the lower courtyard. However, they were all killed, and the gates were closed. Some eyewitnesses claim the French entered here more than once. After this crisis, yet more Allied reinforcements arrived at Hougoumont, and the defense was reorganized. Immediately afterwards, a 2nd French brigade advanced against the farm. A party of Frenchmen from the new brigade attacked and broke in through the west door, but after a short, brutal struggle, they were forced out. The firing along the garden wall continued. Some Frenchmen may have got into the garden over the wall, but they were few in number and soon dispatched. Having failed in their attacks on the garden walls and buildings, the French now launched themselves against the orchard. The British Guards were pushed back, but taking refuge in a sunken lane, they were able to prevent any further advance. Soon afterwards, the Allies counterattacked and retook the orchard, aided by the fire of the troops behind the garden wall. Between 2:30 and 3 o'clock, the French artillery set fire to the chateau and some of the other farm buildings, but the defense was not threatened. A final reinforcement now brought the total number of British Guardsmen to almost 2,000. But the French also committed fresh troops and again fiercely attacked the orchard. This attack succeeded in clearing the orchard and forced the Guard soldiers back into the sunken lane. Another Allied counterattack, supported by fire from the garden wall, forced the French back into their original positions. Throughout the afternoon, the orchard changed hands several times, but eventually the Allies retained control of it. From 3:30, although firing continued all around the estate, no further assaults were attempted by the French. About 8 o'clock, after the defeat of the Imperial Guard, Wellington gave the order for a general advance. Joined by 2 battalions of Brunswickers, the troops in support of Hougoumont advanced and pushed the French out of the wood, pursuing them off the battlefield in disarray. The battle for Hougoumont was over,